Okay, we call this meeting to order at 6:02. Is there any excused absence?
Yes, this evening, Councilmember Martinez has requested an excused absence, as well as Chair David Vanderpool.
Okay, sounds good.
I can do a roll call for you if you would like. Just for the
Please.
record. Councilmember Julio Martinez stated he would be absent. Councilmember Fenn,
Here.
Treasurer Patel, Chair David Vanderpool stated he would be absent this evening. Vice Chair Ron Rader,
Here.
Resident Member Christian Fernandez.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any adjustments to the agenda? Does anybody have any adjustments to the agenda? Any conflict of interest disclosures? If not, we will proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you please stand. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Nicole, is anyone that wants to speak for public comments, please?
I have no written requests. Jackie, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers on the line.
Thank you. Okay, I guess we'll proceed to C1. Draft Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. And that will be given by staff.
Yep, that is me.
Lisa Leach,
Yes.
please.
Tonight I wanted to first start off and thank the City of Beaumont team members that helped get this audit completed. Everybody hit their deadlines. There was some stop and drop moments, and the finance team worked very hard to assist and complete the audit to make this a timely audit. I also wanted to thank our RAMS members of the team that assisted with the audit, and I'm going to actually turn it over to Veronica, who is the manager on the engagement. She is going to do a small PowerPoint presentation to explain the audit process to you, and then I will take over after that. So this is Veronica Hernandez.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. Like Lisa said, I have a short presentation, so I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen now.
And you are Veronica Hernandez, is that correct?
Yes, that is
Did I
me.
get that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so today I have basically the audit results for the fiscal year end June 30, 2025. So the city's responsibilities are to present the financial position and the results of those operations fairly in conformance with generally accepted accounting principles. It is to adopt sound accounting policies, provide reasonable accounting estimates, and establish and maintain internal controls, and then prevent and detect fraud. Our responsibilities as your auditor are to obtain reasonable assurance that those financial statements are free of material misstatements. We'll examine on a test basis evidence supporting those amounts and disclosures, assess the accounting principles used, estimates made, and evaluate the overall financial statement presentation. We also review the city's internal control policies and procedures, and ultimately express an opinion over the financial statements in conformance with generally accepted accounting principles. Our audit process consists of two phases. The first is our interim audit. This includes an internal control review and a detailed assessment. We'll update our understanding of the entity's process, review current internal control systems in place over the various cycles, and then test controls over the various cycles. At year end, we'll perform a sample audit of the financial records and inspect relevant documentation. We'll make inquiries about policies, procedures, transactions, and any significant events, and confirm balances and transactions with third parties, and perform analytical procedures. At the end, we'll compile financial statement data and supplement our note disclosure with the help of city staff and develop our opinion. Our opinion is that the financial statements are fairly presented in all material respects. We issued an unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance that we can give. All significant accounting policies have been consistently applied. Estimates appeared reasonable, and the disclosures have been properly reflected in the financial statements. Other key points to note is we had no disagreements with management, no material errors or irregularities were discovered, no significant accounting issues noted, and then we did not have any material weaknesses or significant internal control deficiencies to report. And that concludes my presentation. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them as they pertain to the audits.
Do I have any questions for Veronica?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry. Yes.
May I ask a question? Okay.
Yes.
Veronica, thanks for sharing that information. And as a council member, it always, every time we do this, the picture gets a little clearer and clearer for me and so forth, and I appreciate the efforts that gone in. Question for you. Your firm has been with the company with the city previous to this audit, correct?
Yes.
And how many years have you guys gone through the audit for us?
I think it's been about maybe 5.
Okay.
Yeah, this year is the 6th year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the 5 years I've been here, there were a few items in the first couple of audits and so forth, and then we've had clean 2 or 3 in a row. Is it 3 in a row now?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so because of that and just making sure, that we're still overturning every stone and looking at all the books and so forth, that you don't see anything that has, I would say, it just keeps getting better, is what I want to say, and just making sure that you felt that your firm has done your homework properly and so forth, and that everything continues to look good.
Yes, every year we always kind of focus on a new element of surprise. So we try to maintain some sort of not necessarily doing the same procedures, but we'll focus on the procedures that we need to do, but we'll try to look into something new every year to kind of have that element of surprise. But nothing that we have noted, and anything that we would have brought to management attention and you guys would be aware of at this point, but nothing that needs to be reported.
Okay, appreciate that. I appreciate your surprise element as well, so make sure that we're looking at different things each time. So, and the finance department does a fantastic job, and we're just, as council, we're so proud of how everything continues to go, and so kudos to you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, council member. Christian, do you have any questions?
No questions, no.
I had a question. Is this the new, this is the same audit company we've had, but a different group because of the new contract, is that correct? Is some of the people in this new staff different than the one was under the last contract? This is the new contract, is that new 5-year?
Yeah, this is the new contract.
So they have a new partner? Have to have a different partner by law?
After the 6th year.
After the 6th year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep,
So this is the same people
Same.
we've had before?
correct.
And I know they were doing a great job because we recommended them as a committee. That was the only question I had. It looks like it's gone really well, and I appreciate your work on this. And if you're happy, I'm happy, for sure, because I know your expertise is incomparable. Anyway, any more questions? Do we have to ask for public comment on this?
I don't have any written requests. Jackie, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers on the line.
So having said that and received the report, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chair, sorry.
Yeah,
Can I
I'm
jump in?
going to do
Are we gonna have
my
a
quick little presentation.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to have
Yeah.
a staff report to go with it
Yes.
too?
Yeah.
Okay, because I have a couple
Yeah,
questions.
I have a
up front.
PowerPoint too.
I-
as we go
I'm
through some of the
sorry, I
numbers.
missed
No
that
worries.
on my
Yeah.
paperwork, but anyway, thank you for bringing that to mind.
Yeah.
Go
All
ahead,
right.
please, Lisa.
Yes, so I think, yep, there we go. It's kind of fitting for the weather that we just
Yeah,
are starting to get. No snow yet, but. So this is the fiscal year 2025 draft annual comprehensive financial report. We're pleased to display in the report that we did receive our GFOA award for our financial statements for fiscal year 2024. So you normally hear about that after the fiscal year 2024 is over and you report it in your next year's financials. So we have that presented in our financial statements. The annual comprehensive financial report, I should have updated that. This is our third year to present the GFOA Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. The annual comprehensive financial report provides a broader view of the city's financial position. There are 3 sections to the report. There's the introductory section, the financial section, and the statistical section. The introductory section consists of the letter of transmittal, which is signed by the finance director, the principal officers, and the organization chart. The financial section is the main meat of the financials. You have your independent auditor's report, which Veronica just presented, the unmodified clean opinion. You have your management's discussion and analysis, government-wide financial statements, fund financial statements, notes to the financial statements, required supplementary information, and combining financial statements and schedules. The government-wide financial statements are more of a broad overview of the city's finances, similar to a private sector business. They're long-term focused, and we also have activities classified between governmental activity and business type activities. So the government-wide state of net financial position, this can be found on page 19 of the draft ACFR, but you can find it on page 48 of your agenda if you guys wanted to go there. The city's total net position change from fiscal year 24 is a 37.9 million increase. You can see our total city assets is 836 million, and our total liabilities is 212 million. The city assets and deferred outflows is basically what the city owns, and then your total liabilities and deferred inflows is what the city owes. So your net city financial position is 624 million. The large portion of the increase from fiscal 24 is from the completion of office and customer service improvements at City Hall, the Memorial Plaza, the addition of the new fire station, completion of road rehabilitation, and 5.6 million on new buses. So that's why we have a large increase in our assets. The fund financial statements, those are fund accounting used to control resources that have been segregated for specific activities or objectives. The main one is our governmental funds. Second is our proprietary funds, and those are like our enterprise funds, that's our transit, that's our sewer, and that's our internal service fund. And then our fiduciary funds, those are accounts for collections received from special assessment districts and their disbursements to bondholders. So these are mostly our CFD bonds. So all of our funds will fall into either one of these 3 broad categories. So the general fund operating results are found on page 27 of the ACFR, which is on page 58 of your agenda. The general fund revenues for fiscal year 25 was 72.8 million, which is an increase of 8.7 million from the prior year. 6.4 of that was due to a one-time audit recovery of misallocated county allocations, as well as continued local economic expansion. Property tax revenues also grew 15%, reflecting new home construction and property transfers. The expenses for fiscal year 25 were 57 million, and that's an increase of 6 million from the prior year. The expense increase were attributable to the one-time audit cost of county allocation of sales taxes, general insurance increase, settlement costs, and the increase in public safety as the new fire station became fully operational during the fiscal year. Are there any questions? I'll stop to see if there's any questions at this point in time.
Do I have any questions for Lisa?
I
Yes,
do,
Councilman.
and it's from the staff report for when it, in reference to the fund balance. Is that going to be part of your presentation?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll hold off till then.
Okay.
Thank you. Christian, you good? No questions. Okay, please continue.
Okay, so here is the overall general fund. Increase in fund balance of 5.578 million. You can see for the budget results, the total revenues were over budget by 10 million. Expenditures below budget were 7.5 million, and then our other funding sources and uses under budget by 924 million. Revenue increases are obviously, again, from the one-time sales tax audit and interest and realized gains. And then expenses were lower from the budget because fiscal year '25 budgeted for a full 12 months of the new fire station, which ended up not fully operational about after the first quarter. Also, community development was underspent due to position vacancies for about half the year. So that's why there's variances in your budget. So fund balance categories, you have non-spendable, which is items that cannot be spent because they are not in spendable form. You have restricted because a portion of net fund resources are subject to externally enforceable legal restrictions. You have committed, which is a portion of net fund resources constrained by limitations imposed by formal action of the City Council. And then you have assigned, which is a portion of the net fund balance reflecting government's intended use of resources. And then whatever doesn't fit in those categories becomes unassigned, which is available resources. So the total fund balance at the end of fiscal year 2025 ended up being 53.6 million. And you can find that on page 24 of the ACFR or page 55 of your agenda. So out of the total ending fund balance of 53.6 million, we have 40.5 million categorized as unassigned. We can't just use the 53.6 million because we have policies at our city regarding our fund balances. So the unassigned is 40.5 million as of June 30th. Our city policy states that 16% of annual operating budget for working cash flow, that we must maintain 16%. We also have set aside 5 million for a budget stabilization and 1 million for emergency disaster. So the working cash flow calculated at 16% turns out to be 12.8 million. The budget stabilization is 5 million. And the emergency reserve is 1 million. So our total reserves at the end of fiscal year 2025 is 18.8 million. So that leaves us an available fund balance of 21.7. So even though the financials reflect there's 40.5 unassigned, after we apply all of our city policies, we are left with 21.7 million. Then the final section of the audited financial statements is statistical information that spans 10 years. So it provides financial trends, revenue capacity, debt capacity, demographic and economic information, and operating information. And that kind of buttons up the entire financial report. So if you have questions now.
Thank you. Lisa, is there any questions? Yes, sir. Mr. Council Member.
So Lisa, so the question on the reserves of the, well, it says on the staff report, page 6, it shows the 18.8 million. that's not the 21.17 million because of what again? Was there a portion that's still restricted or?
So the city has set a policy that, it's kind of like your rainy day fund, that we've said we want to set aside 16% for working cash flow to make sure that we can cover all of our expenses.
And that's beyond the budget stabilization and the emergency
Correct.
reserve? Okay, I
Yes.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And then with that 21.7 million, we had recently, as a council, reallocated funds within our CIP towards Pennsylvania grade separation. That doesn't include that balance, correct? So this is 21.7 still unassigned?
Correct.
Okay, so that's nice to see that because then when that construction bid goes out, staff was estimating somewhere between 6 and 20 million,
Right.
and so forth. So it's nice that if we have to all in on the project, that we don't have to tap into savings beyond that in a sense and not pull anything out of that's in those investment accounts, right?
Right.
And this would be something that would be like in LAIF or something, very conservative in the meantime, or is it sitting in a checking account?
So we have what's called pooled cash, and we do have our investments kind of all together, right? So you have LAIF, and then we have our restricted investments with our portfolio. So what we do is we have enough liquidity, essentially, that yes, we have enough in LAIF that we would be able to pull those funds out should we need them. And LAIF is you could get them next day.
Okay.
Right. So we have a good amount in there, but we don't necessarily, when we do our investments, it's called pooled cash, and so we're not segregating them specifically in the investments, but we have enough liquidity, we would be able to get those if we needed to.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you. That finish your report?
Yes, that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you. Great presentation, thank you. Do we have any other reports from staff? Thank you. Do we have any public comment? Nicole?
I have no written request. Jackie, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers on the line.
So, excuse me a second. So we're looking for a motion to accept the report?
Yeah, I guess I could have followed up with the recommended action. And the recommended action is for the Finance and Audit Committee to receive and file the fiscal year 2025 annual comprehensive report and recommend forwarding to City Council.
Very good.
Mr. Chair, so moved.
Go ahead. We have a motion by Councilmember Finn. Do I have a second?
I have a second.
Second by Christian. Excuse me. Christian Fernandez. Do we have a roll call?
Member Fernandez,
I agree.
Councilmember Fenn,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Ron Rader.
Yes. Motion passes. Okay. I guess we have reports from our subcommittees. Internal Control, Vanderpool's not present. Consultant Review Committee, they got my name there. Could you remind me of what that committee does? And if we have some upcoming activities that we need to react to?
These are on here just as reoccurring. They're standing items on the agenda. I believe the Consultant Review Committee is as needed basis.
Yes, it is, and there will be an RFP coming up for the investment advisors.
That's what I thought. Okay.
The
Yeah,
quick question,
Councilmember.
so the Internal Control Committee, that would be as if we had an audit finding, then they would review that until it's been resolved, correct? Okay.
Okay.
That committee's been quiet for a little while.
I see we have Treasurer Review. I don't think the Treasurer is here. Is that correct? Finance Director comments, is that, Nicole, is that us? Comments by members of the?
That'd be Jennifer.
Yeah. that's
Jennifer,
me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I just want to thank Lisa and the team. They did a fantastic job through this audit process. It can be a really large lift to get through all the documents and everything that the auditors need. And she's accurate in saying that the team as well as the auditors were fantastic through this process. So I'm very appreciative to them.
Well, we fail to recognize that heavy lifting that goes on our behalf, and I'm sure committees and council members know that the expertise that you have and the work that goes behind all this stuff, and it's phenomenal. So I thank you for that, and I'm sure our committee thanks you for that. Okay, with that, is there any other questions, comments? Does anybody want to bring to the committee? If not, it looks like I call for an adjournment at 6:28. And Nicole, does that sound about right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. We are adjourned at 6:28. Thank you so much for your attendance.